Well, good morning. Good to be with you again here this morning. Did you have a good week in the Lord? Good is such a strong term at times, isn't it? I called John yesterday and was naming off the things that had happened to me in the past 24 hours, and he starts preaching at me rather than feeling sorry for me. I said, well, I'll just let you go. He told me what I needed to hear. I told him the dishwasher broke, I'm on call, I'd been up all night, tried to go back to sleep and couldn't. And Melissa come in there and said, the other part of the house is warm. I go over there and the air conditioner's quit, you know. But he keeps me singing. If you take pride in these temporary things, or your joy is in these temporary things, guess what's going to happen? Yeah, Keaton got that new truck. It'll disappoint him eventually. My little nephew got one, and it's done disappointed him. I'm so tired of automobiles at times. But we'll talk to you this morning. We've been looking at these men, these valiant men that served David. They were just about the king's business. And, you know, making excuses for, why ain't there more people here this morning in a lot of cases? Why ain't I, Monday morning, why do I want to get up and not be about the Father's business? Why does that little bit of stuff like that yesterday bother me so much? Why ain't I singing? Why ain't I keeping singing whenever that stuff happens? This flesh is just a natural reflex, isn't it? And that's what we fight daily. You know, I've heard preacher didn't even shake my hand, so I'm not going back. Or, last week John hurt my feelings. He said all I could preach or teach out of was Samuel. So, we're going to change it up this morning. We're going to go to 1 Chronicles chapter 11. I'll show him. And looking at what these men did, and listen, these men faced impossible odds. We saw with that one guy, he fought till his sword, he couldn't turn loose of the sword. Another guy took on 800 men by himself to the field of a pea patch, basically, as we call it. A field full of lentils. They were about the Father's business, or the king's business here. Like we should be about the Father's business. Listen, we face impossible odds every day to stay in the way, don't we? But He keeps us. He keeps me singing. I can't keep myself singing. Here in verse 22, we're going to look here at a guy named Benaiah of chapter 11 here. Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts. He slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. He also went down and slew a lion in a pit in a snowy day, and he slew an Egyptian, a man of great stature. 5 cubits high, and an Egyptian's hand was a spear like a weaver's beam, and he went down to him with a staff, plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and slew him with his own spear. That sounds pretty courageous, don't it? Pretty courageous. But, you think about this. He's not trying to make a name for himself. He's doing what he's got to do, putting his life on the line here for the king. But the thing that caught me here the most was it says he slew the lion in a pit in a snowy day. What do we do on snow days? What do we do on snow days? Nothing. That's right, we sit by the fire. Here this man is out in the snow, taking on a lion. And I'm upset and I'm frustrated with God because the dishwasher's broke. Took an Egyptian, plucked the spear out of took his own spear out of him, so he went down with a little staff. In several other instances before this, it says, and the Lord wrought a great victory. We're never going to overcome all this on our own. And that's why most of the time we do fail, as we do undertake this on the. Why was I just absolutely disgusted and frustrated yesterday? And John reminded me of that. I was taking it all on my own. I wasn't handing it over to the Lord and say, here, help me with this. I was trying to do it myself, and that Egyptian had done whipped me. That lion had done devoured me. Listen, lions to us, over here, there's no lions roaming around. Yeah, they call him king of the jungle for a reason. The top speed, I looked this up, it's interesting, the top speed a lion's been clocked at was 50 miles an hour. And they can jump 30 feet. Now, on a good, I like today, it's sunny outside, there's blue skies, ain't a cloud in the sky. It's easy to get up and come to church. But when it's rain, cats and dogs, and that road's muddy and all of that, what do I want to do? I want to call in a snow day. I don't want to be like this man. Listen, why do you think this is recorded? Have you thought about that? Do you think this is just recorded just to make this guy look good? It's to show you when you undertake an impossible task that God has assigned to you. Listen, one of the things I do is I kick against what the Lord has for me constantly. That is a constant struggle. You're looking at a defeated person over that. I'm constantly fighting against what God has for me. Rather than getting in the pit and fighting Him and let Him show me that He's got this. He can fix the dishwasher or make a way. He can fix the air conditioner or make a way. Or if He don't, that is His will. But see, that's just it. I don't want what He wants. I don't want what He has for me. I don't want to fight that lion in the pit on a snowy day. Lord, if You'd have sent Him to Him if You'd have sent that lion to me in the pit on a dry, sunny day, temperature about 72 degrees, I don't want to break a sweat while I'm fighting Him. Then I would be happy to fight Him. That's how wicked and sinful this flesh is. It don't want to keep singing. Listen, I think of H.G. Spafford writing, "It is well with my soul." You want to talk about a snow day, he could have called one in. All 4 of his children gone overnight. In 15 minutes, them children drowned. And he writes a song when they're cruising over their watery grave, when peace like a river attendeth my way. Did he fight the lion on a snowy day? How about our Lord and Savior? Lord, if it be Your will, let this cup pass from me. But nevertheless, not my will but Thine. And like yesterday, I had to finally say, let us be going. Take up my cross. This right here has really opened my eyes to how out of the way I am and how I don't want what God has for me every day. Why do we dread Mondays? Why do we mock about Mondays? Because there's a lion in the pit on a snowy day. And we want good weather. We're fair weather Christians. I like my snow days. We've had a few of them here. Every 20 years we'll get about 4 inches of snow. And what do? Absolutely nothing. Redeeming the time, because the days are what? What do we do with our time? We sit by the fire. Now there's times to sit by the fire. There's times to be out there taking on the lions. And not every battle, listen to me, let me be clear here, not every battle's physical. Not every battle's physical. Y'all saw, and I shared with y'all, and we prayed, and the Lord wrought a great victory here about my brother, and the line of addiction had him pinned down. There was nothing physical I could do. Well, there was one thing physical I could do, hit my knees. And my tears spoke stronger than my tongue did in that situation. to God. That's how I fought that line. That's how I fought that line on my knees. See, and I'm guilty of, like it was said last Sunday here, I'll be praying one minute, the next minute I've got somebody on the ground. Because my flesh, that's how the devil gets to us. It's hard to stay in the way. And even in that, I'm rebelling because it's what the Lord had for me. The Lord had it where they could whip me. So I want to ask you something. The next time a snow day comes, what are you going to do? Are you going to sit by the fire, or are you going to be about the King's business? And like I said, that may be on our knees praying. We've had several in this church here we've prayed for. And the Lord has wrought a great victory. Brother Harold's sitting here this morning. I done give him up. Lord can't fix that one. And here he sits again. The Lord wrought a great... Pray. That's how we're going to slay our lions on a snowy day. 99% of our battles can be fought in prayer. In that secret place. That's what I did yesterday. I finally gave up after I talked to John, and John told me what I didn't want to hear. And thank you, brother. I prayed about it. And the Lord assured me everything is going to be all right. Now, I could have took a snow day and had me a pity party, but I didn't. I did like him. I got in the pit and fought the lion, even though I didn't want to. That's one of the, I think, listen, society as a whole has programmed us that when the going gets tough, what do? Just stop. Let it pass. Rather than seeking the Lord's face and taking it, we become defeated. Why does the church have no power? We don't want to take on the lions because the pit's snowy. That's slick. It's damp. It's cold. I don't want to get my feet dirty. I don't want to pray an hour. I'd rather do what I want to do. I'd rather do what I want to do. What does Colossians 3:23 tell us? Let's turn there. Colossians 3 and verse 23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord, and not unto men, knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance. For ye serve the Lord. You know what my problem is? Most of what I'm doing is for me. And I'm doing it as unto me. And therefore I get disappointed because it was me. I want to take that line on and make a name for myself. Boy, did y'all see what I did. And then I'm told in here, no flesh shall glory in my presence. There's no details in here how these men did this because it was God's victory. That's why that's left out. Do testimony Sunday so you can brag on yourself. Tell how you slew that lion. See, we corrupt this stuff just that quick. And that's the danger here. That's why God didn't tell how He did it, because God did it. Listen, tomorrow's Monday. And I assure you it's going to be snowing. There'll be snow on the ground. But let's still be about the King's business. Let's not just be fair weather Christians. I love you, and I hope this has challenged you like it has me. May the Lord bless y'all.